And I go, oh, even in our culture, we don't have rites of passages for young women or young men. And it's such a valuable, I think, process in terms of like, you are no longer a child. Yes, you still need guidance, but these are the steps that will be necessary for you to go into the longest stretch of your life, if you're blessed with life, which is adulthood.
Hey, rites of passage are a powerful means for transformation at all phases of life. But I believe they are particularly powerful during the teenage years. And for myself, my bar mitzvah was hugely transformative for me. It really helped me begin to see how I might become as an adult. I actually named this whole video journal for this book I read 20 years ago called Crossroads, The Quest for Contemporary Rites of Passage, that's had a huge influence on me ever since. But along with that belief has always come some skepticism as well. What do I or anybody mean when we use the term rites of passage? What makes an experience, or what makes a program for that matter, a rite of passage? And what does it look like when someone genuinely goes through a rite of passage? My interviewees are Ellen Sebastian Chang. Her groundbreaking work in theater, social criticism, and business continues to have an indelible mark on the San Francisco Bay Area. But back in 2005, she had never heard of the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Sandy Sohcot, a visionary community organizer, is on a genuinely holy mission to spread awareness about the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. But she struggled for a long time to engage other people, particularly young people, in the exploration and the use of this amazing and powerful document. Together, they became the geniuses behind the human rights education program, The World as It Could Be. And they shared a bit of their philosophical wisdom with me about rites of passage in this interview. This is my second interview with folks from this program. Whether or not you've seen the previous one, I suggest you watch it before watching this, because it provides some important context for understanding how the world as it could be works. All right, that's it. I think we're ready. Let's go.
I think that there are cultures that have rites of passage. I think what has happened in the what I will call the American culture, if we don't have that in our particular home life, I don't know if that exists.
I grew up Jewish, and I had observed and even helped, facilitate messages to young people going through a bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah. And I learned more about what that ritual, in terms of it being a rite of passage where a young person at puberty was ready to be part of the adult community. And as part of that, they went through this process of learning the guide of that community, which in the Jewish world was the Torah, but it was the principles that guided the community. And the young child then had to learn what that meant and come before the community to say, I'm ready to show I understand it, and then I want to take responsibility for being part of the community to uphold it. And I felt that kind of process of going through this, maybe an ordeal where a young person has to learn all of this and then stand in a kind of trembling way before their community and speak about it, and then come out of it literally taller on the other side and celebrated by their community, was something that I wanted to see more of in a secular way. And what I came to see with the UDHR is this is a universal framework. Every human being in the world is bound and part of this declaration, which brings us as a global community. We all have this in common. And the opportunity for young people, particularly in the high school age, where they're really getting ready for becoming part of the adult community, this was an opportunity to have this framework to learn about in that similar process learning about it. What does it mean to them? What does it mean to be part of their community and to come before their community and be celebrated for what they have learned and what they say they are now committed to taking part of. So the UDHR provides this very strong, unifying framework that young people can be part of and bring their communities in as well.
The greatest story that comes to mind for me in that example of this is when we were first at Arroyo High School, and there was a student, Jose Rodriguez. And we started the program, and the teacher, the classroom teacher, said to me, Jose doesn't really talk. And she started to tell me that she thought that people thought he might have a learning disability. And my response was, shh. I go, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. As a Black woman, I know what it means to be put in a box. The danger of convenient assumptions. So I said, let me have my own understanding of Jose. One day I got to school early, and Jose was in the classroom just quietly reading. And I said, hey, do you like horror film? His face lit up and he goes, yeah. And I said, me too. And what it led to is we started talking about sound effects. And I said, this is how the sound manipulates you. And I said, what do you think of that? And I said, because I don't like that. And then the next thing you know, he and I are talking without judgment. And someone else might react and go, oh, horror films. And I go, that is what gets us in trouble, is when we pass harsh judgments as a way not to enter space with one another. And then the next thing I know, Jose and I are talking, and then I said to Jose, then I want you to think about working on the sound. Would you be the sound designer for this? Yes. Then we only talk about what does human rights sound like, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, all this leads to the day of rites of passage, and Jose made a short video about the right to education. The principal was moved. The teachers were moved because they said, we have never heard him speak this much ever.
Do you know me? Fearless. My people can overcome any obstacle. My people are suffering against the government. How do I motivate myself? How do I give myself motivation? I always carry my iPod. I can feel the beat move through me. Drums make me get up. Guitars makes me move around. Sound raises my voice, makes me be heard. My voice says I need to be heard. I can speak. I can call you a friend, a cousin, a brother. I can speak my mind. Do you know me? My voice says I need to be heard. But how do I know what to say, what to sing? Education is my right.
Have in my wallet a small chapbook of the UDHR. I find that at times I get in conversations with people and they start talking about human rights, and I just pull it out of my wallet, and people like kind of look at me and they're like, I never heard of this. And I said, well, guess what? And I give them my age. I said, 15 years ago, I hadn't heard of it either. So for me as an individual, I will continue that process to just say, as I started with, it doesn't matter when you become conscious of something or aware of it, but when you do and it turns on a light, that light can never be turned off.